Good day, viewers. Welcome once again to another edition of Reflections on K-Links Online TV. I'm Abimbola Makile, as you all know. Today, we have on the program a grassroots man who has gone through the rigors of the councils and discussions within the councils and politics of the councils. He is by the name Honorable ADESOJI ADESOKAN. Honorable ADESOKAN, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. I am Honorable ADESOJI ADESOKAN, the Chairman, Councilors Forum of Oyo State, and the Assistant National Secretary General of Councilors Forum of Nigeria. Thank you for having me on the program.
You're welcome once again. If I may ask, how will you describe the state at which local government is in the country presently?
Thank you. You see, when we are talking about the state of affairs of the local government in Nigeria, in particularly, let me talk about that of Oyo State. You see, we are not practicing the democracy that our forefathers agitated for. It's just by mere saying that we hear, you say there are 3 tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. I can tell you, as a man of the grassroots, that of the local government is neglected. So, and this is applicable to some other states, but in the case of Oyo, it's even worse. What we have here is just not local government. Look at the way how things are going on in this state in particular. It's saddening our heart as a grassroots mobilizers that the governance we are talking about has to do with the people in the grassroots. The state cannot reach out to people in the rural areas. It is we, the councilors, the super, and so on and so forth, that we know all corners in the rural areas.
Those are the people.
Yes, like in my community, I have more than 120 villages that is not on the map. But me, as a councillor in my area, I can tell you, and I can even tell you the names of the people living in various hamlets in that region. Now, can the governor know that? But you see, we have neglected that aspect of the local government. In fact, if you are a councillor in this state, you are just a figurehead. You are just a figurehead. That assignment that the people have voted for you to do is not there.
Can you briefly tell us the assignments that you have voted in to do?
Yes, let me also remind you, sometimes some of our people, we don't get it. We believe that maybe as a councillor, you are there to go and you are responsible for the betterment of their life in the rural area. No, as a councillor, you are a lawmaker. You are not the executive. So you make law. What we go there to do as a councillor is to make bylaws. It is the state legislature that make laws for the state, where the councillor make laws, bylaws, we call it bylaws, to better the living of our people in the rural areas. So, but most time our people, once you're a councillor, they believe all their problems, you must solve all their problems. So that is why we are having, we are being misunderstood for the duty we render. As a councillor, you are a lawmaker.
Yeah, thank you. So what have you, is there anything you councillor, since you are an executive at the national level and the state level, has there been anything you have done to enlighten the people about your duties so they understand you better? Has there been any forum or seminar or to enlighten people in your own local government or your council area?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Presenter. You see, just like I have already said this before, we have attended series of workshops, seminars. We have the knowledge, we have the capacity to do this, but there is no platform to do it. Like for instance, in the local government, the state does not recognize the power of the local government. Almost everything is being run from the state. I can tell you this. Now, you see, some of us, they say, this government is bad, this government is bad, this government is this. But if you see His Excellency, the President of this country, have signed the autonomy of local government and state assemblies. But you see, the governors are not helping matters. In a case where you have the autonomy, when the local government has its own autonomy, they have their own budget, they spend their own money, they plan their own budget, they do everything. You see, that is when you can hold the local government accountable for whatever thing. But in this case, you don't, the reverse is the case. The autonomy we are talking about, it's so saddening that it's even the governors that are rejecting the autonomy. So once this is still being practiced, there can't be meaningful progress in the local government.
So, thank you. But recently, of recent, there has been autonomy has been given to, if I'm right or I'm wrong, can you enlighten me? The autonomy in the bill has been passed that the local government should have its own autonomy. Is that right or not?
Mr. Presenter, you see, just like I've told you, the autonomy is being passed, but the state governments are rejecting it. So, who is funding the local government? Is it not the state government?
As of now?
Yes. If you say you have the autonomy, okay, go and get the money now. You see? So, it is still being run by the state government. In fact, recently I heard the governors forum, they are planning to go to court to challenge the autonomy given to state assembly, even the state judiciary, and even the local government. So everything will blame the federal government. Now the federal government has played its part by giving autonomy. Okay, all of you go and stay on your own and let's see what you can do. But the state governments are saying no. And with this, there can never be any progress in the local government. Because the state cannot sit in the secretariat and decide things happening in our communities. It is we in the grassroots that we know that, oh, this particular community, they need borehole. This particular community, they need primary health care. You see, the state government will just wake up one day and just say, okay, I want to bring markets to so place. That is why you see most of the market they design, they are not working. Because that is not the priority of that particular area. You know, the place where you need primary health care, they now bring maybe a market. Who is going to go there? Nobody. But we in the grassroots, if you tell us what do you need in your area, I will tell you in so place they need farm implements. In so place they need primary health care. In so place we need markets. So but it's not like that, and that is why everything is just going upside down.
Honorable, so thank you for your disposition towards that. Can you tell us what the councillor face in his interest in serving the people of his own grassroots against overriding powers of its party. We've already talked about what the local government is facing and councillors are facing. The local government are facing in the hands of the state government, in the hands of the governors. But what about the party? Do you see councillors facing any hindrances and challenges?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Presenter. You see, the councillor is facing so many challenges, just like you have rightly said, from the party, even from the communities, even from the states and all other areas. Let me tell you, for instance, as a councillor, your people from your community, they have seen you as a messiah. That maybe
they are representatives.
Yeah, they are representative, but not minding that your powers are limited. As a councillor, you are not the executive. You cannot decide. You cannot mastermind a project. Okay, I want to build this thing. Yeah, you can't do it except if you have savings from your personal income. That you can do that. But as a councillor, you advise the executive. You make bylaws, maybe the market, the primary health care system, and other laws that you felt that is outdated. And you want to represent your people very well. You know where this thing is paining them, so you want to tell the government. But you see these days, people think, oh, this man is a councillor, any little thing. My wife is pregnant, or she delivered yesterday, or you have to provide that money for. Then if you don't do that, you have become a bad councillor.
Forgetting them.
You have become a bad councillor. So now you see in the community, like this present administration that we did. Most of the councillors, we had a proposal for our communities, but it is left for the executive to approve it.
Or programs to attract development to your own communities.
If the executive do not sign or approve it, there is nothing a councillor can do. So then, when we are talking about that autonomy, so when there is autonomy in the local government, each department will have its own budget. The legislative arm will have its own budget. They can sit down as councillor and decide, okay, this legislative session, this is what we want to focus on. We'll use this maybe on a seminar and training. We'll use this maybe to develop some of our areas. But once this autonomy is not there, there is nothing a councillor can do at all. As a councillor, in fact, recently that the state government illegally sacked the councillors and chairmen. Now, I begin to see that, one can even live a more better life
than being in
the office. Because as early as 4 a.m., my phone will start ringing.
Before or now?
Before. Now, since they know we are no more in the office, nobody's calling me. Nobody's calling me, so that is why I can even sit down and eat and relax and do other things. But as a councillor, you have even things that does not concern you, they will bring it to, and you will never reject. You say, okay. Answering them, okay, means that you are going to report to the executive.
Are you talking from the party level, or you're talking about it?
I am talking in general terms.
Both party level.
The party we are talking about, are they not the same people in the community? It is difficult for a party man from Ibadan North to come and be, disturbing the councillor in Akinyele. It's the same people, the people in the community are still the people in the party. So there is no difference, be party or communities. It is still the same challenges that we are facing. As a party man, I wouldn't want to go into that party, whatever. You understand? In Nigeria, we still have that system that if you are not in party, you cannot contest. It is when we get that freedom that an independent candidate, that is when I will now say, oh, what is party? But now, as a politician, you dare not say that. You know, the party is very important. The party structure is very important. And, you know, we are agitating about restructuring and all that. It's very okay. It's very okay. But the problem here is that, are we really prepared for this restructuring?
I'll still come to that, but I would want to bring to your notice some of the things people say generally in politics. I'll put it to you to enlighten the viewers. Sorry, is it the reason, the problem you used to have from people in your communities, if you are a lawyer, an honorable, is that the reason why after you are elected, you leave the area you are living, like most of them, because of the disturbances? Will you say that caused the reason why some of these politicians will just leave their area, because a lot of their constituents, members of their community will come and disturb them?
Well, it could be, but on a personal reason, as a councillor, maybe we are all progressing in life. You can decide that, okay, maybe you have a plot of land somewhere, and at a particular time you develop it. So for the fact that you represent people does not mean that you must live there. You can live anywhere,
but you must still be among them all.
The most important thing, are you active in your community? Do they know you, or you just get that slot from them and you run away? That is another thing. You can be anywhere. Okay, now for me as a national ESCO, most of the time I'm not in Oyo State. Most of the time I'm not in Oyo State. But I can tell you everything that is happening in my community, I am aware. I have PAs and I have other people that work for me. If anybody wants to do something, they will give my PA the letter. It will get to me. It's not necessary that you must be in the community. You can be anywhere. Okay, take for instance, I'm running a program and I look at the distance of where I am running that program to where I live, and you think of, okay, the possibility of, okay, living very close to the school to achieve your aim for future purposes, you know. I say, oh, let me stay here while I achieve this purpose. Definitely, your people, you are with your people. Like for instance, I that I'm talking to you, I left my local area for personal reasons, but almost every day I come around because I still have a house there, but I'm not sleeping there for personal reasons. And you see some of our people, they are so diabolic that you face so many challenges. Okay, you live in the house as a councillor every day. If you do not see snake today, you will see scorpion today. Challenges. Your life is more important than anything. So let me not go deep into that, but the most important thing, are you responsible to your community?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So what advice would you give to councillors across the country?
Yes.
What advice that would be of assistance in the development of the communities?
Okay. Recently we had a seminar in Abuja, and we're talking about the role of a councillor. And most of these things that we mentioned, that is unfortunate that the government policies are not aiding the councillors to perform at all. Now, as a councillor in the local government, it's just your salary. Just your salary. No budgeted amount for the legislative house. Where you don't have a boss, you don't, you are not being paid for, how would I call it, constituency, whatever. And some of these things, the welfare of a councillor needs to improve. And that will help the councillor to improve its community in a little way. Just like you see the senators and what have you, So, but in the local government, and this is the most important part of democracy in Nigeria. Because even as a president, if you want to contest, they will refer you back to your wards. So that I am very surprised that most time they neglect this ward issue. It's very painful. Even as a councillor, you see, in those days, if you run that office as a councillor, if you are not careful, the people who in the community will curse you.
Those days, what days can you be specific about the days you are referring to?
Yes.
What year, what duration of the period?
Like in the 80s, we have seen people that that they are councillors, that they are on the street now doing Okada. Recently, there is a video that went viral in Lagos State. The councillor in that Lekki, whatever, it's not a wheelbarrow pusher. He said they were being paid 500 naira when they were there during the regime of Babangida, and they will remove tax. Just like you said, you pay tithe to some other quarters and things like that. You are left with just peanuts. So the people in your community, they expect more from you. They believe as a councillor representing them in that area, you are the alpha and the omega of that community. Whereas the reverse is the case. In fact, in our recent seminars, we advise that our councillors should have other addresses. That means you should have other things doing.
Other means of.
Yes. In fact, I'm in support of this bill that we should make politics a part-time,
less luxurious.
Yes. Yes. So that you come back from your work, you can let's go into politics. It's not we should make it a part-time. I think that is what is best for Nigeria.
Yeah, now let's go to a national issue. For quite some time now, community leaders, socio-cultural groups, ethnic leaders have been telling us all about that. Except this country, our great nation, go by restructuring, and we cannot move forward. If I want to from you, what exactly do they mean by restructuring? What does restructuring mean to you? And how can we go about it?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Presenter. You see, in a layman understanding, restructuring to me means reshaping, remodeling, regrouping, rearranging, a particular thing. We've been agitating for restructuring in Nigeria, just like, in fact, in the decades, not something of the recent, the same people in the era of the military, they say, no, it's democracy that we want. We want democracy in Nigeria. So democracy came. Now we start saying, democracy cannot solve the problem of Nigeria. Just recently, we heard the chief of army staff alleging that some people are approaching the generals to talk the government. See that we are also coming back to time of military era. You see, restructuring, what I understand by that restructuring is that some people felt neglected in some areas in Nigeria, and most especially, let me say, the eastern part of the country. If you see most of the agitations are coming from that angle. But let me take us back to memory lane. The constitution we are talking about, the major this thing that we are even practicing, was written by an able man.
Is it the 1999 constitution?
Not even 1999. The initial constitution that we are using. I want to remember
The 1979
the name of the. It's an able man. He designed it. Now you see, development is coming. People are expanding. People are getting more enlightened. So, and a lot of things. Those days they say Hausa man don't go to school, but now if you go to school, you see majority of the Hausas in the school. And when we are talking about restructuring in this country, we need to look at some areas. For instance, in this country, we have 36 states. And out of that 36 states, the North has 19 states. So if we are going to the House now to deliberate about restructuring of this country, now issues like this, they turn it to voting. I can tell you that wherever the North is going, that is where we have the because they have 19 states. So, and the Yorubas and the Igbos can never go the same way. So, it will only take the grace of God for the restructuring. And I really advise our people, we are complaining about governance, people in the power. Who are the people in the power? Are we not the people? Are we not? You see, some of our people on the streets, what they do is even more terrible than what even the government. Let me tell you something.
Tell me that I want to come.
Now we are talking about restructuring. For instance, Rwanda, Kigali. I was in Rwanda last year, and I had to change my flight for some reason, and I asked somebody, one of the immigration officers, to do that. The guy went from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. and brought the stuff for me where I was seated. Oh, and I thought of it, oh, as a Nigerian. And I removed $5. And I put it in the, because there are cameras everywhere, I put it in this thing and I give it to him. When he opened it, he saw it, I said, no. So we don't take gratuity for service rendered. He returns the money to me. I said, no. He said, no, if you still need me, just call me. We are all here for you. Wow. A few weeks later, I traveled back to Nigeria. On my arrival to the international airport at Lagos, the immigration officer was asking me, what do you have for us? I said, oh, nothing. He said, no, you are bring something. In fact, I was number 3 on the line, but they delayed me because I refused to give them something. They delayed me for 45 minutes. They were searching my luggages because I refused. And knowing fully that I don't have anything, so I let them when they were done. That was when I raised an arm. I see. Shame on you. I was coming from somewhere, and this is what we had before they came and they allowed me to go. You see, the Nigerians must change that attitude. An American man, when they wake up in the morning, say, God bless America.
Are you saying it's in our blood?
A Nigerian man.
Are we born with that?
You know, we need to change.
How do we change it?
See, this restructuring can come naturally. By the time I and you, when we change the way we do things.
So can I come in there? I appreciate the way you say we have our own problems. But from what I want you to enlighten me about and enlighten me, in all society, all countries, don't you see that crime, a madman, a wise man, all categories of people are there. People are not ready to obey the law. The reason why the politicians or political officers are there is to check their inadequacies and pave way for a new Nigeria, if we have to say that, which has not been coming. How will you react to that?
Thank you. You see, by the time we Nigerians we start having double standards, so most of our people, not even the politicians ever, when they travel abroad, they obey the rules and regulation of that particular countries. When they come to Nigeria, they decide to mess it up. You see, and in the government area, if I will advise, if the government will adhere to the constitution, you see, we have a very viable constitution in Nigeria. Recently, somebody was telling me in Dubai that they consulted Nigeria for their constitution. That most of these constitution they are using in Dubai is from Nigeria. But when you get to Dubai, you see common traffic offense. If you do it, you are in trouble. So people don't violate that. So let's start from that area.
Not that they don't want to violate, because they know they will be.
In fact, the consequence is so high. You know, a woman, she just rushed and crossed the traffic. They caught her, they didn't arrest her immediately. When she was coming back, they picked her. So, oh, you were asked. Our flight is just 1 hour. So you have to pay a fine of equivalent, that's about, is it not 200 dirham? Equivalent to maybe 21,000. You have to pay. If you don't pay it, you forfeit your flight. You have to reschedule. You pay another money. You still pay that fine. That is why when you go to Dubai, you see people comport. You know, but in Nigeria, look at what we have. In fact, the issue even in these states, is even worse.
How will you say that?
Lawlessness is not the order of the day in the states. This is not the states that we have worked for. In person of late Senator Ajimo, Oyo State used to be a very peaceful state. But now, my brother, this morning, before you go out in the morning, you have to check your phone to know the areas that you can pass. Now, this morning, somebody just messaged me, oh, don't come through, whatever. They are fighting, oh. They fought yesterday and they are continuing this morning. You know, so there is lawlessness in the city. So when a place where there is lawlessness, people tend to do things anyhow. That is what we are having. I want to strictly advise that Nigerians should change. By the time Nigerians change, we can hold the government accountable of what. When we refuse that we are not going to steal, we are not going to be double standing. You know, now no government will want to do that, but we ourselves we want shortcuts to the
corners.
Yes. So the same thing, the government, it's everywhere. So I employ our viewers at home. We are Nigerians. It is only us that can change this country. Nobody, no messiah.
I mean, the change starts with.
Change starts with me, with you. If you want Nigeria to be better, you have to change. Change the way you do things. Stop lying. Public office holders, stop, adding zero to figures.
Inflating
contracts. You see, in fact, it pains me when I begin to see some certain things happening in Oyo State now. In the days of Ajimobi, there's this slogan they use, they say, mommy have interest. But now, it's even worse.
Are you disputing that there wasn't any case like that?
I don't know, but I know the one of now. It's even worse. Because even me that I was in government then, I didn't know that mommy used to have interest. But now that it's the opposition that is in government, I know that mommy has interest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The mommy, sorry for cutting you. The mommy you are talking about is not from the state. So what interest will she have in the state?
My brother, if you go to Apete, what do you call it? Watan, that road there, the contract was awarded to our in-law.
That means, sir, that this discussion about the state and whatever will come for another day. It will be a discussion of another day.
Thank you.
So the only thing you do for us in the grassroots is to advise these security challenges that we'll be having. what ways and methods can we employ to adapt, not to get scammed and whatever?
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. You see, there is this seminar I attended in Lagos. They call it Operation Know Your Neighbor. We live in a community. Now, let's say for instance this area now, you know the person next to you. When you see a strange movement, you see somebody, you have right to, hello, Ejo, you know.
And you report to some appropriate
Yes,
within
the security,
the chairman,
the security, for a state to be secure, you need to secure your home first. When you leave the home, you secure the community, then the state will be secure. But in a case where you see people, you know, cutting somebody's head, people looting people's shop, and you kept quiet, one day it will be your own turn. They will come and loot your own house, and others will keep quiet. So we need to sorosoke. You know, when you see somebody,
you see something,
say something. When you see something, say something. You see something, no, this man, no. You are not in this community. What are you doing here at this hour of the day? You need to challenge people roaming about the streets. That is when security starts. You need to secure yourself first before you think about it.
So within the grassroots,
yes,
we are advised to
be vigilant
and
strangers in your community, know why they are there, know their mission.
I think that's part of what Amotekun is all about. Be your neighbors.
You see, the issue of Amotekun, I'm afraid.
Perhaps part of.
I'm afraid because it's run and controlled by the state governments. Now, are they not going to be using this against the opposition? These are the questions.
Until then, sir. So thank you very much, Honorable. It's been a good day. It's been a good time having you. The last one you talked about the states, the past administration and the present, and the difference. Like I said, it's going to be
of another day.
Discussion of another day. Because the viewers will want to know what are this is an Omi Tutun regime, and that was Ajumoshe administration. So comparing the two, perhaps I would say it is too early. The mommy in interest and the mommy also is interest too again. Then it's going to be discussion of another day.
All right.
Thank you viewers. Thank you for watching. Until we come on the program again. I'm Abimbola Makine. Coronavirus is still around the corner. Play safe. We are keeping distance. You could see we keep distance. It's 6 feet. So play safe, keep safe.